Hey guys, Brotherhood of Gaming here. Welcome to part 2 of Silent Hill Revelations. Oh my god! Well, I'll let you start.
Well, first of all, we got to see an early screening of it. It was funny because first of all, we saw the 3D version because it was the only version that was out early. I was a little hesitant about getting that because I know Will has kind of a problem with 3D.
It depends on what happens.
It was real funny because the first time we put the 3D glasses on, there was something wrong with their projection or something.
For the first 20 minutes, like, everybody in there is like, nobody's sure.
This wasn't during the movie, it was during the previews where they were doing the 3D. You could tell there was something wrong with the 3D stuff.
Like, it was kind of like the old school one where, like, red and...
Yeah, there was something wrong with the 3D projection, but then you take it off and you see, like, doubles, so you're like,
okay, what's going on?
Fortunately, like I said, when the movie started, though, they corrected it.
Yeah, Gene actually got up and he's like, stay here, I'm going to go and talk to I'm going to go raise hell in the projection room. Like, if this movie's not right, I'm going to be pissed.
Well, I went out, I saw a worker, and I guess she phoned it into a manager, and I don't know if that was anything to do with me, or if they just fixed it on their own, but it got taken care of. I think first before we get into the film, the 3D itself. I thought what was great about the 3D is because it was, for me, it was hardly noticeable. Meaning that it didn't draw too much attention to itself. It was there, and it was done well. This was the best 3D movie I've seen since Resident Evil Afterlife.
Yeah, I think there were only like a couple of times where they did a couple of 3D.
Yeah,
there's only a couple of times in the movie they did that where there.
But it wasn't tacked on. It wasn't anything like that. But it was there, but it wasn't distracting.
Yeah, it's not where they're literally just trying to be like, whoa.
Yeah.
No, none of that. Okay, anyway, so...
Alright, first of all, Will squealed like a little girl from the opening because you heard the Silent Hill music.
Well, that's one thing that I wanted. I was like, okay, please tell me that they're not going to go the route of everything after Shattered Memories, and they're still going to use Akira Yamaoka's music. They do, but at the same time, they remix some of it, which is okay. They don't get carried away. Yeah,
so the music, A+. Right off the bat, you can see that, with the visuals and the music, they're staying true to the series.
Okay.
The movie starts out.
Okay, for the first, I'll probably let Gene do a lot of story explaining. However, I promise that I will cut you off a lot because there are going to be things that I recognize, and I'm going to have to point out.
Okay. Well, we start off and we see our main character, Heather.
Mason.
Mason. A.K.A. Sharon from the first film. She is being chased in what looks like an amusement park. And she's being chased by these hooded figures. She gets on this merry-go-round. Well, first she's hiding, and she looks over to her right, and she sees like a bunny.
Robbie.
A blood.
A whole bunch of Robbie bunnies from
Yeah.
So basically it's almost a perfect imitation opening of Silent Hill 3.
Right. And I also like the touch where like everything has like a little splattering of blood on it. Which is something I'm very used to now that I'm doing like Silent Hill 1 through.
Yeah, that's what Silent Hill 3 had. Like the bunnies, Robbie, were covered in blood.
Well, even in the first Silent Hill game, like I'm doing the walkthrough right now, I can see there's always little splatters of blood here and there, which was a very nice touch. Well, she looks over and the rabbit does the whole...
whole head jerk.
Yeah. If I could start off real quick, I think one weakness has is that they do try the jump scares. And I think that, to me, that's the weakest part of the film. When they're trying to do, like, the whole, like, the quick, or here's another good one, where she's, like, walking around the light, and then you see this. When someone walks by the camera real quick, and they hear a poof, it's like, oh, okay, guys, don't do that.
Although, there are quite a few jump scares. However, again, they don't get carried away. They're not too distracting.
But like I said, I didn't really like, I didn't really find it scary. It's kind of like, okay, they're just trying to do the whole, I thought the weakest one is that later on there's like a toaster oven and then you see a...
Oh, the Pop-Tart.
Yeah, the Pop-Tart. Oh, okay, you guys just did that, you get up.
Yeah, they did that because they knew that they were making fun of it, so they decided to go all out right there. There was also another one later with all the nurses, how one literally pops up so close to the camera. Like, you didn't remember that? Like all the nurses were looking at the camera and all of a sudden just like one gets like right in front of it. Huh?
Yeah. So back to the start of the film, the rabbit does the whole thing, so it scares the hell out of her. She runs into like a merry-go-round, which is being operated by Mr. Pyramid Head.
Now, here's another thing about Pyramid Head. Of course, I know a lot of people are going to be like, if there's no James, there can't be a Pyramid Head. Let it go.
Move on.
Let it go. Pyramid Head made himself the face of Silent Hill, so James Sunderland or not, Pyramid Head is going to be around.
So,
and another thing about Pyramid Head is that they talk about Volatile in this movie, and it's kind of funny because he's in it and he's not. Because if anybody's played Silent Hill 3, you know the monster Volatile. He's the one that turns the crank and he's like, yeah, that's Volatile.
Yeah.
And Volatile has been replaced with Pyramid Head, except how in the shrine there's a statue of Volatile with Harry attached to it.
All these little fan service moments they put in there. It's very nice. So there she sees the Nightmare Alyssa, and you know, she does the whole demonic voice thing. You cannot escape from me. Sets her on fire.
By organic life form detected.
She wakes up. And then they did the whole thing with the whole gag of the nightmare inside the nightmare, and she like wakes up to fight. She wakes up first. Harry's like covering her. Don't ever go to Silent Hill. He gets stabbed from behind. He gets killed.
So there's your Harry death of the movie. Okay, the monster that killed him in the game killed him in the dream. There you go. Get over it. Harry didn't die.
So basically, again, we have the father and the daughter from the first movie. They've changed their name to Harry Mason
and Heather Mason. A lot of you at this point might be asking, where's Rose? A lot of you might not be asking, and you might just be counting your blessings.
Rose is basically trapped in Silent Hill. Apparently she used something, she somehow was able to...
She found the seal, like half of the seal of Metatron.
Right.
Somehow. There's no rhyme or reason how that, Kevin. Okay, we established that...
We're not meant to think about too hard. We'll just take it as face value.
Yeah, they do establish that there was quite a jump between the beginning, or the ending of Silent Hill 1, the movie, and to the point when Sharon came back to Silent Hill, because Harry Mason said that he looked for them for a long time.
Right.
And then Rose, by half the seal of Metatron, found a portal, or I guess the seal of Metatron would create a portal that would temporarily, or sometimes fully, let somebody leave Silent Hill. And it would only work on one, and Rose would make, as a mother or father, would make the obvious decision, protect the child. So, through the portal, Rose sent Sharon. And ever since then, Harry Mason and Sharon have ran away all through the U.S. or wherever, and...
Because the Order is still after them. Because the Order is trying to get...
The cult.
Yeah, the cult, or the Order, yeah. They're trying...
That was the chair.
Okay. They're trying to if the walls start turning red, I'm running. Yeah, so they're basically moving from town to town. They change their names, so it's a routine. She's starting a new day at high school, and she's being tailed by a...
Douglas Cartland.
A detective. Or PI, yes.
Now, I'm going to let you guys know ahead of time, if you love Douglas Cartland, don't.
Well, he gets killed in this film.
Really surprising, too, because he does not die in the game. He lives all the way through the end.
They pulled the Carlos from Resident Evil.
Yeah, very early.
Well, I think the thing about it is, I guess after that point, there's really no need for him to be there.
I guess not.
Yeah. So they kind of tied up that loose end.
So yeah, Heather first gets to school. Douglas is following her.
Well.
Oh, wait. Before she goes to school, Daddy gives her a present.
Oh, the outfit. So she looks exactly like
she does in the third game. She's got her white vest on.
Damn it! She didn't have her Sailor Moon costume.
Princess Heart. Darn it! That would have been cool if she finds it. Why she? Sexy beam shoot.
I wonder if it's in one of the deleted scenes.
Probably is. Or the special features. So yeah, he gives her the. And when she wakes up from her nightmare,
I wonder if in the deleted scenes they do like the joke ending. That's it. I'm going to Silent Hill to bust some heads. Oh, Dad.
You know, since those were still pictures, it wouldn't be hard for somebody to make that. I could do it.
Yeah.
He could do it.
Yes. So she's doing this whole thing though, where she's going through high school, and like the nightmare starts affecting the world around her.
But before that, we get introduced to another character, Vincent.
Vincent.
At first, I was heavily against what they did to him.
Mm-hmm.
But later, thank God, because I was hoping that they were going to do this. We'll get to it when it comes, but so Vincent's introduced in high school just as another student. Mm-hmm. So Father Vincent, no.
Heather's course is very antisocial. She's like, listen, don't try to be friends with me because I'm going to be friends with you.
Don't try to Skype me. Don't try to Facebook me.
Basically trying to be as unlikable as possible. Yet, strangely enough, Vincent is very attached to her and just keeps following her around everywhere for some reason. It's like, what's this guy's problem? Why is he so interested in her?
Because he's Vincent.
Yeah, interesting. So, like I said, the nightmares start happening
within the school hallways.
Right.
Yeah. So reality's becoming nightmare. Huh.
She's being followed by the PI. She calls her dad. They agree to meet at the mall, which is familiar.
Huh.
The nightmare projections happen again. There was kind of a nice little creepy effect where they're at, I guess, this girl's birthday party, and there's all these balloons that say "Happy Birthday, Heather."
And that was also faithful because even though it's not directly her birthday, there are a lot of birthday hints within Silent Hill 3. Like especially that one creepy phone call,
right.
"Happy birthday to you." Like, would you like to receive pain or give it? And within the asylum, you can find a door that says "Happy Birthday," and behind it you find a lot of ammunition.
Very, very, and then of course there's a clown there, and I hate clowns because they're scary. And of course they all turn demonic and stuff.
And they're eating God
people.
knows what.
They're eating meat and blood and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so she freaks out. She sees Douglas coming at her from across the mall. She runs inside of a meat factory, and she's like, sees some guy hanging upside down.
Now,
while a butcher is just slicing up his body and being like, "Hey, what's up?"
One thing about this movie too, and it's something that George Lucas said when he was doing Star Wars, is that one of the hardest scenes to film is scenes where you have to do a lot of exposition, and you have to do a lot of, who these people are, why they're after her, and what's going on, and why they're after you. They do that several times, and the first exposition scene is with the PI when he's talking about her. I was hired to find you, then I found out the truth about these people, and they're after you, and this and that and the other.
That was kind of weird. Like, how did he find out the truth?
I guess we're not supposed to think about it too hard. Anyway, this female monster shows up, kills him. She escapes.
The monster that, very similar monster that killed Harry in the third game. Very similar.
Right. She returns, the rally returns back to normal. She finds the PI has been killed. The cops find out the information that's on him about her, so she becomes a prime suspect.
Not only that, but they found her jacket.
Right.
She took off, not the white vest, but she wore a jacket over it, and it got covered in Douglas's blood. She ditched it, and forensics, damn it. See, that's why you don't ditch your bloody stuff in a...
right.
Don't.
She and Vincent hook up. They're on a subway, and then there's this freaky guy who's just freaky old guy, just there to
be freaky.
Be freaky.
Oh yeah, freaky and not. Oh,
which again in itself is very true to Silent Hill, because a lot of times there's just things in there they're just there to mess with you.
And of course, what makes the movie creepier is he pulls out a Robbie doll. It doesn't do anything. He just pulls it out just to have it. I want a Robbie doll now.
Yeah. But anyway, at the end, she goes into the house, and written in blood is "Come to Silent Hill" with a sign on it.
Because early on, while she was talking to Harry on the phone, like, "Where can we meet? I'm being followed." He says, "We'll meet at the mall." And almost immediately after, the cult finds his home, and they jump him. Why do they know where he lives? Because Douglas kind of told them.
Right. So she and Vincent go to Silent Hill. Of course, the cops are after her. And then you have the car scene, which is, again, very similar to Silent Hill 3. Yeah, and again, that's another big disposition scene. Where they're
before they leave, Heather goes into her father's stuff, and she finds a box that has the talisman of Metatron engraved on it. Mm-hmm. Of course, they don't know what it is at the time. They're just like, symbol.
Right.
So she looks inside. She sees all these different files.
So Harry's been kidnapped by the Order, taken to Silent Hill.
And so she finds a note that was written for her from Harry, should he not be around, which again, just like Silent Hill 3, except in Silent Hill 3 it was a notebook, and here it's a letter.
Right.
So what?
Right.
But basically they say the same thing.
Right.
So instead of Douglas driving her to Silent Hill, it's now Vincent.
Right.
And then they go to the motel, just like in Silent Hill 3. Except it's not in Silent Hill, it's outside of Silent Hill.
Just on the outskirts.
Yeah, just outside.
Right. And then we have another disposition scene where Vincent explains his backstory.
And this is where he redeemed himself as a character, because at first when I told you I wasn't on board, it's because they just kind of threw him in there as a high school character, kind of almost wore similar clothes, but had absolutely nothing else to compare him to the Father Vincent from Silent Hill 3. Mm-hmm. Until he says, I'm really from the cult.
Yes.
They sent me outside of Silent Hill to find you and bring you here, but I don't want you to go to Silent Hill. I don't want you to become part of the God. Which is faithful, because Vincent really didn't want Heather to become part of the God, because although he did believe in the same God, he didn't, he said it wouldn't be convenient for the God to come out now. Because I guess he wants to make money, and he wants to live his life. It's like, it wouldn't be convenient if that would happen right now, come on. So, yeah, he doesn't want her to go to Silent Hill. He's like, probably not a good idea. I can definitely see that you're not as bad as they said you were.
Then they do one of my favorite effects when you see the world start to decay, turn red, and transform into Silent Hill. The set design, I thought was perfect. The gates, the fences, the red, it looked perfectly just like... So the sets on this thing, you can tell there was a lot of love and care putting those sets, because those sets look great.
Oh, they definitely tried. And the build-up for when it transforms and Heather's like, what's going on? It's really good, because it's just like, what's going on? The darkness is coming. And then it like fades in.
Yeah, then you see everything melting around them. Well done. Well done. Basically, Vincent gets captured. She gets knocked out. She wakes up. Everything's gray. Ashes falling. And then one of the funniest, for me, well, me personally, one of the funniest moments in the film. She gets her gun.
She even checks her ammunition. Like, gotta check my inventory. Okay, I got 12 shots.
I whispered to Will, conserve your ammo.
Oh, one thing that happened earlier in the film.
Another funny part.
I forgot to mention, speaking of ammunition and stuff, is when she first encounters Douglas in the basement, what's the first thing she picks up? The steel pipe. I'm like, hey, that's funny.
That's humorous.
Hey, that's comedy. So she walks into Silent Hill. One thing that I don't really particularly care for is, even though they still had to follow it, was they went with the backstory of Centralia.
Right.
But at the same time, they tried to make a cover for it, because she says while reading that, I don't think that was the truth, though. Like, how she read that said a boiler explosion, it caused the place, and the coal fire is still burning underground. But then she follows that line up, she's like, I don't think that was the truth, though. I think that was the cover-up. I think it was really the order.
Really?
Yeah, she said that.
Oh, I must have missed that.
Yeah, in the card, she says it was the coal of the mine fire, but she says, I don't think that was the truth. That was a cover.
It is important that you understand Elisa's torture. And her torture is the reason why she is like this, because of her torture. No. But then we met the mother. Oh, God, I forgot.
Dahlia.
Dahlia, yeah.
Now, of course, we all know, in the games, Dahlia, evil.
Right.
Movies, Dahlia, not so evil.
Right. Same actress. Again, that's what we were talking about. Like, they were kind of handicapped, because they had to kind of try to connect it to the first film.
But at the same time, they didn't go anywhere with it. So they brought her in, they showed her, didn't do anything with her.
So she comes up, she has another exposition scene, we find out about Heather. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Heather was created by Alyssa in this movie? So she's basically the good half, right?
She's a reincarnation.
Reincarnation, okay.
And that's truthful.
Daughter, sister, self.
Yeah, that's truthful. That is what happened.
Yeah, so basically there's two. There's Alyssa, who's evil, and Heather, who's good. And Heather was like left at this church.
If you want to call it evil.
Right.
Evil's kind of subjective.
Yeah. Anyway, and then after that, there was another nice effect where the gray town turns into the hell world again.
Into the darkness.
Darkness world. It would be safer inside. and
then, the darkness is coming.
And then, basically, this part of the film is what I like to call going through the haunted house, where you're just going from one crazy set to another with all the monsters there. Just going from one set to the other. First of all, you see Harry, who's captured, and he's tied up there. And then you see the main villain of the film, the white hair, who is...
Oh, we jumped ahead really far.
Mm-hmm.
Claudia Wolf.
Yeah, Claudia Wolf.
But
Vincent apparently in this one is her son, which is kind of, I guess,
not. No.
Well, he's going to be punished or whatever.
Okay, but before that, during the motel scene where Vincent was still with Heather, he basically explains that we need to go see Leonard, Claudia's father, because he has the other half of the seal of Metatron.
Right.
Which is faithful, because that was true.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that kind of bothered me was before seeing this movie, Malcolm McDowell was going to play Leonard. I found that really weird, and I wasn't sure how they were going to go about that, because if anybody's played Silent Hill 3, you hear Leonard well enough when you never see him at first, but you hear him through the phone, you hear him through his voice, but then when Leonard actually shows up, he's just a monster.
When you have a good actor,
and then
they make up all the difference.
And then just Malcolm McDowell, I'm just like, really? That's going to be interesting.
Right.
And they did it well enough to where I believed it.
Right.
Like that, okay, yeah, I'll buy that.
Now, in the funhouse part of the movie, where Heather first goes into this whole, in like this area filled with like mannequins, which I understand is straight from Silent Hill 3, correct?
The mannequins? Yeah, when she's running through, as soon as the darkness comes, she runs through some building, and she finds one part of the building. It's an abandoned apartment building. Hey, Silent Hill 3.
Yeah. With all these mannequins, and you see this naked woman be transformed into like a mannequin.
Yeah, that was from the movie, but yeah, the mannequin scene was taken from Silent Hill 3 because it was just a scare scene, and the boss from Silent Hill Homecoming, because it was a pretty good boss.
She tries to save this one girl who's like caught in this web, and then you see like this spider mannequin thing, which was a good effect, I thought.
Yeah, this is where one of the 3D things come out, where it like puts a face in front of the camera, and just like, I'm just like, yeah. Don't do that again.
Yeah. Basically, the girl gets killed because who cares about her?
Heather's like, how did you get here? We made a wrong turn. Well,
bye.
Okay.
And that character was actually kind of that monster, like you were explaining to me, was kind of a cross between some other monsters. There was
there's a part where that mannequin monster has Heather cornered, and then its mannequin face opens up all wide, and then you see like the tentacle monster with its large teeth come out and try to snap at her, which was a take at the first boss from Silent Hill 3 in the mall.
I was thinking Alien, but whatever.
Yeah, I was thinking Alien too, but I knew better. So.
Yeah. Then we come to the part where, well, first she's looking around. She actually gets attacked by some creature, well, some guy creature on the bed, and that's where she like uses the gun for the first time. She shoots it in the head, and it falls on the ground, still twitching. And I said to Will, "Kick it, kick it, kick it, kick it!
It's twitching. It's still alive."
That would have been a nice little scene. Just kick it, just walk away. Then we come to the part where she meets Leonard.
Well, she goes to the asylum.
Yes.
Yeah, she escapes the apartment building. She thinks to herself, Leonard Wolf. And then she finds the asylum and she goes inside. And that's where... Let's see, what does happen in there? She kind of explores the place just like in the game, which is... Okay, I'm fine with a little exploration. It's what we do. As gamers, it's what we do a lot of. Then she looks around, examines things, presses X here, and picks up some keys, and...
Yeah, she picked up a key, which again, is very nice for a There's all these little moments that happen in the film that
remind you it's taken from a game.
It's taken from a game, right. And that's kind of the scene where you're looking all around, you got your flashlight and your weapon, and you find a key, and you open the door. I was almost expecting like a little subtitle to appear. Unlocked.
Press X to open or something. I don't know. Then that's
Cutscene with Leonard.
and this is where we start to hear Malcolm McDowell. Mm-hmm. And he's on chains, and he does come up, and he's a blind old man, and I'm just like, okay, I'm sort of on par with this, but at the same time, I know this guy's got to be a monster later, so how are they going to do this? So he goads her into showing him half the seal of Metatron, and he recognizes, of course, because he acknowledges himself as the leader of the cult, or what once was. I'm not so sure if that was true. I know that they both Claudia and Leonard believed in the same God, but he think that Claudia went too far or went a different route, and he believed in other things as well as the seal of Metatron, which didn't amount to much in the game, but it amounted to a lot here.
Basically, he had the others in this movie. He had the other part of the thing in
his body, which is still faithful to the game because
he sticks it inside of himself.
He sticks that half
and he becomes a monster,
which is the monster from the third game, which you kill and you get the seal of Metatron. Hey,
yeah,
I get it.
That's basically what she does. She does it kind of a pedestrian way. She just kind of reaches in, grabs it, and takes it out. And you're just kind of like, okay.
I'm just like, well, whatever.
Yeah. Then she's like being like attacked and grabbed by all the
crazy people that are in the asylum.
And then she says, "Somebody help me!" And right on cue, guess who shows up?
Yeah, if you hear a large streak of scrapes on the floor, you should know who that is.
Funny thing too, actually, before that, before she meets Leonard, she's going up this stairs with the gun, and you actually hear the dragging of the knife in the distance. You're like, oh, I know who that is.
And of course, people are probably wondering, like, what the hell? In the movie, they try to establish...
It's explained that Pyramid Head is Alessa's guardian. Right.
Which is like Volatile.
Yes.
Because that's what Volatile does. It doesn't look like it, because Volatile doesn't do much, if anything, for you, except he kind of helps you along the way, but you probably wouldn't know that, because he looks just like a monster that's just doing that twirly thing in the background. He's helping you, you just don't know it.
Right.
So, but Volatile's been replaced with Pyramid Head, so he's kind of the helping guardian.
Right.
So
she kind of frees them. She runs away. Then we cut to Vincent, who's being strapped down, I guess, taken by the masked guys to go have some sort of operation.
Because when Vincent announced to Heather that he was part of the cult and he didn't want her to be going to Silent Hill, that was taken as a sign of betrayal to the cult. Mm-hmm. And somehow they figured this out and they kidnapped him, and Claudia was just like, "You have betrayed us!
Time for you to be fixed."
Yeah, time for you to have a lobotomy of some kind.
And then comes the scene where not only us, but all the people in the theater were waiting for.
Movie nurses!
Yee! The nurses showed up. I was like, oh, the nurses!
And of course, naturally,
you know, I would give an award to every one of those actresses who played that role, because they did a fantastic job just mimicking and
just doing what the nurses do.
It was a great, great scene. Now, they kind of reacted to sound, though. Is that truthful, or is it sound? Because it looked like light in the first movie, but this one was like sound.
In the game, if you got close enough, even if the lights were off, if you got close enough, those bitches are going to reach for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in Silent Hill, if you have the light off, you can virtually get by anything unnoticed.
The most popular figures in Silent Hill, man, I tell you what, it's a close between Pyramid Head and the nurses. It's close between those two.
Yeah, but even in the games, even if you have your light off and you can virtually get around everything, if you get close to them, naturally, peripheral-wise, they're going to know something's there, and so they're going to reach out for it.
Yeah, so the nurses, they kill the two
people that were going to operate on Leonard, and somehow Heather managed to sneak in all Batman-like. Because I did not hear a door open. Damn, where did you come in?
They're able to escape from the nurses. So we had the nice little nurses, you know.
And nurse jolting and nurses swinging off.
That was great.
And that was really good.
Then you go to the scene where they're at the amusement park.
Well, they escape from the asylum. Yeah. They run around Silent Hill in the darkness. And this is where they establish, Leonard says, the darkness has gone on too long. Normally, it would have turned back to Foggy Town by now. Mm-hmm. But then he's just like, well, that's because you, Heather, you're the other half of Alessa. You're here now. Reality has shifted to nightmare. which is true to the game.
And that's why Harry didn't want Heather to go to Silent Hill, because, you know, they were afraid that if she was there, it's all about joining two halves together. Mm-hmm. And once you get that one thing, they can use her to unleash their god.
Yeah, well, there's more to it than that. When they get them together, and Alessa and Heather become one again, she can become the vessel that will birth the god, which will bring forth the paradise. In other words, a never-ending hell on earth.
Anyway, they go to they're at the amusement park, and they're being chased by the guys in the mask. I guess they're the Brethren. That's what they call them.
Yeah, they call them the Brethren.
They're basically, I call them like the Horde, the Order's minions. They're just kind of the Gophers. They do all this stuff for them.
They go up and beat everyone up.
Yeah, Vincent runs away to distract them. Then it's basically they're like they're recreating the first the very first part of the
movie. Go back to
movie.
Vincent leaving. This I thought was forced.
Okay.
The kiss. The little romance.
Well, I don't think there was any romance on her part. She was like, ugh.
That was completely one-sided.
I was fine with that because it was like Vince is like kissing her and Heather's like, really? Dude, not now.
Yeah, because even when he's like, if you save me, I can help you, and she's like, fine. Yeah. She was ready to leave him.
So I'm okay with it. I wasn't bothered by that.
I still thought that still kind of bugs me because I'm just like, it's not what Vincent would. Oh, whatever.
Anyway, he runs off, distracts them. Then comes a scene. If you remember earlier, we talked about the rabbit.
Rabbit.
Yeah. Now, in it, she looks around and there she sees that rabbit, and that whole time, I'm waiting for that rabbit to turn its head. So I'm kind of on edge during the whole scene. Never happens. Perfect. Because it's something to me that was the scariest moment because it's a scare that you expect to happen,
but when it doesn't come,
Yeah.
When it doesn't come, you're still on edge, and you constantly have to stay that way.
Right.
That's what makes a good horror.
Yeah. Then she gets onto the merry-go-round. Of course, Pinhead's doing his thing.
Yeah, doing the volatile twirly thing.
Yeah.
Which
the Brethren tries to close in on her. They all erupt into fire, and guess who shows up?
The dark part of Alessa.
Nightmare Alessa.
Which is the boss from Silent Hill 3 at the exact same moment. Now, this is where we kind of establish that this is the part where the movie makers wanted desperately to try to please the fans and do Silent Hill justice, while also knowing the poor unfortunate effect they still had to unfortunately follow the rules of the first movie, while also trying to use their own science to backfire on it.
Right.
Because in the first movie, everybody's established, Alessa's a witch, she's a demon, she's the bad guy, we're all locked in here because of her. In the second movie, everybody still kind of believes that until Harry Mason, Heather, and the Nightmare kind of see for everything that's going on around them. They kind of explain the Order, the cult, is bad. They want to create this demonic god to bring a form of paradise, and they want to escape the hell that is Silent Hill so they can unleash this vengeance upon the sin of the earth. And the dark part of Alessa, the dark part of Alessa, is keeping that entire cult locked within that Silent Hill, and they will never be able to go. And she's the villain? So that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Alessa is the good guy here. No matter how they try to portray her as being like this...
The
demon! Demon. She's not.
Because Alessa is good. She's a good person. And they redeemed it in this film.
They did a good job showing that. And what I also like is some of the lines that Heather and Alessa trade off. As everybody has a different nightmare in Silent Hill.
Yeah, that was my favorite line in the film because Alessa says to Heather, everyone has a different nightmare in Silent Hill, reinforcing the point that this all takes place in one dimension.
Just one reality.
Not 4, not 5, 1.
One.
It's one reality, but if me and Will went to Silent Hill, my nightmare would be different from his nightmare.
Yeah, I wouldn't be seeing the same shit he would.
Right, exactly.
I'd be seeing my own problems. He'd probably be seeing his own in the same positions mine are in, but we'd be seeing two different things.
Everyone's nightmare is different in Silent Hill.
And yeah, that is just like in Silent Hill 2 when both James and Eddie were in the same apartment building, James asked, have you seen that red pyramid thing? And Eddie had no idea what he was talking about.
Right. Right. So basically, after that, they merge. Heather and Alyssa.
Yeah, Heather and Alyssa become one again.
Yes.
And right after that boss scene, which is really cool because the merry-go-round is going underground, which leads to the church, just like in Silent Hill 3. The setup, the layouts of everything is done perfectly. They go to the secret cult where Claudia Wolf is waiting. Harry Mason is tied up to the statue of the real Volatile, which is weird. Apparently they call it the cult of Volatile. Okay. Whatever. And, and the Seal of Metatron actually does something here.
Okay.
Which is weird because in Silent Hill 3 it was a piece of junk that didn't do anything. Let's see. Oh, and also Vincent, he's also there. He's tied up in the back.
Right.
And this is where Claudia Wolf brings out her last exposition, why she's doing this, and what she plans to do.
I'm going to kill you, Mr. Bond. Before I kill you, I'm going to explain what's going to happen when I kill you.
she doesn't say I'm going to kill you, but she's like...
It's her evil Bond villain speech, but go ahead.
She explains the plot of the third game. You, Heather, are to become the vessel that is going to birth God. Mm-hmm. Yes!
Right.
Yes! Why didn't they do that in the fucking first movie? You are to birth God and bring us to paradise. But this is also what follows the continuity of the third game. Heather says no, and the power instead is turned on Claudia. It's done in a different way, but in the third game what happened was a Glophitus, Harry had some left over and he stored it in Heather's necklace. Heather eats it and throws up the fetus that is to become God. Claudia, somehow, picks up the fetus, eats it down, and then she becomes God due to the help of Volatile. So she becomes kind of like a deformed god of what she thinks God should be. Right. And that's the final boss. And that's what happens here, sort of.
I'm not surprised they didn't show that, because I think that would be a little too grotesque if they show that in a live-action movie.
Yeah, that probably would. So instead, Heather brings out the Seal of Metatron. She has her touch it. And that's how Claudia becomes...
Reveal your true self.
Yeah, becomes the cult monster.
Right.
And being that Alyssa still has a guardian...
Pyramid Head. We see a boss fight, or a final fight between Pyramid Head and Claudia as the
monster. The god monster.
Which was actually really good.
Which was cool. At first I was like, are we really going to do this? And then when the fight's going on, I'm down with it. I'm really cool. But but at the same time, while watching the fight, I'm just like, so Pyramid Head's the good guy. So Pyramid Head.
Hey, I'd rather have Pyramid Head be on my side.
I know. So it's just like Pyramid Head, one of the scariest mother effers in Silent Hill that you never want to meet or fight, and he's really scary, and he's that, and he's on our side.
Well, he's on Alyssa's side. He's Alyssa's guardian.
Yeah, he's Alyssa's guardian, and Alyssa's good, so I guess that makes him
good. Well, anyway, he kills her, and I love how he kills her, and he just walks away like a boss.
Just decapitates her.
He walks away like a boss.
He does this. He does this Pyramid Head twirl thing, and drags his blade, and he just walks off. Pyramid Head.
Now we come to the resolve. Well, one thing Pyramid will probably knows. Well, hey, Harry's still alive.
Oh yeah, Heather, she saves Harry. She gets him untangled. Vincent, he's still alive.
They're walking through Silent Hill.
Yeah, because now the darkness is over.
No more ash is falling.
Yeah, Heather. Which is cool. Alessa's nightmare is gone. Mm-hmm. Alessa is no more.
Right.
However, the cult's demonic influence on the town still exists, mm-hmm. which means that even though Alessa's manifestations and all of Alessa's doings are gone, the town's dark influences from the cult is forever always going to be there. And it's going to be different for everybody who goes into Silent Hill. Now when Foggy Town is still there, Heather, Vincent and Harry Mason are about to leave. This is where Harry comes out and says that he can't go. Right. He's got to stay in Silent Hill. to find
Rose, the wife from the first movie. Which I'm okay with.
I'm perfectly fine with it.
I'm fine with
He's alive. That's all I wanted.
So it gets resolved. He stays in there. Now, Heather and Vincent are going down, walking down the street.
Yeah, they're going to go home.
They're going to home. A big truck comes by.
This probably was one of the coolest things
This
ever.
was one of the coolest things ever done in a movie based on a video game.
Now, I know that after Silent Hill 4, Team Silent was disbanded and everything after Silent Hill 4 is kind of called Betrayal, but still you can't help but giggle and just be all giddy about the next and final scene that happens.
Go ahead.
As Heather and Vincent are walking home past down Silent Hill, there's a truck that's coming out of the fog. A big pickup truck. And at first I'm just like, pickup truck. And then they pull it over because they need a hitchhike. And I'm just like, giant pickup truck. That kind of reminds me of something. And then you see the truck driver. And then I'm just like, oh my god! Look at the clothes! And then, he's just like, you need a ride? And she's in there, you're like, yeah, we need to get out of this place. We just want to get far from here. And he's just like, what's your name? My name is Travis Grady.
Travis from Silent Hill Origins.
Oh! Yes! Awesome! I know it's bullshit, but it's awesome! And then, that's really cool. He's just like, Travis Grady, alright, let's get out of Silent Hill. Let's go. And then, early on, because the whole crime scene with the forensics early on, when they went into Harry's house and they saw
the truck drives down the road, but all of a sudden these cop cars...
There's a few cop cars coming towards Silent Hill, driving into Silent Hill. And then I'm just like, okay, the forensics guys from earlier in the film when they were looking for Heather because she was a suspect. And then you see more cop cars, and I'm like, really? This is kind of interesting. Then you see a prison transportation bus.
You go from Silent Hill Origins
to Silent Hill Downpour. There's Murphy in the bus. Oh my god. That was probably one of the most awesome things ever.
Well, actually, we discussed that there was only one thing.
There was one thing that they could have did that would have made this ending.
Yeah.
Is if after you see the bus drive by, you go back to the pickup truck driving by, and on the edge of Silent Hill, when they're driving away, you should see like a little rest stop with a car with its open door and an open letter on the driver's seat with a man standing at the edge.
Yeah.
Just left it right there. That would have been the best thing ever.
Too.
Again, it was already great, but that would have been perfect.
They go to Origins of Downpour, so that's very nice. And you can tell that, well, final verdict on this film, like I always said, if it can't be good, be truthful. To me, this is
went above and beyond.
And it's good.
They followed the liberties from the first movie, but that wasn't because they wanted to, but it was because they had to.
I like the Silent Hill films more than the Resident Evil films.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I think you are a fan of the Resident Evil films because you have followed them. I only watched the first one, and I thought it was alright. I watched Afterlife, basically because I'm a big Chris Redfield mark.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a big fan. I watched your review of Resident Evil, and I'm sure I wouldn't have liked that film.
Probably not.
Because again, you have all these characters being put in the background for a character that's not
in the game.
At least with this one, the right characters are there.
Mm-hmm.
They maybe tweaked some, and there's all these little references from the game series, not just 3, but the game series that are put into this film. These were made by people who cared about the film. It's not like it's a completely different crew from it's not like the first director who just wanted to tell his own story or put his own spin
and make it a witch movie as well with just females in it.
Yeah, this is not what these people wanted. They wanted to do a film that kind of celebrated the Silent Hill franchise, and I think they did that.
And unfortunately, this is how I think successful-wise it's going to work against them because they made this movie for the fans of Silent Hill.
And I think that's another thing too. And it's something to the next movie we're going to watch is Wreck-It Ralph. And it was funny, because when I showed the Wreck-It Ralph trailer to a friend of mine who wasn't really big in the video games, the trailer didn't have that big of effect on him as it did on us because he wasn't really familiar with all the cameos. And it kind of got me thinking. I guess that's kind of one of the major drawbacks when you make a movie based on a video game is that there are all these little nuances that happen.
There's a science to the games that you have to follow.
Fans will get it, but non-fans won't.
Yeah, so the non-fans who look at it as a movie are going to judge it as a movie based on, because being that it's Silent Hill, they have to kind of judge it on a horror movie,
Right.
and that Silent Hill doesn't follow the horror movie cliches or the rules of a horror movie. So by that standard, it's going to fail, because it's not. It's a video game movie that successfully follows the science of the games, and it's there to appease the followers of that series.
Now, this movie is not a scary movie. It's not like a scary movie like, say, a Paranormal Activity.
No.
Right? Because, again, it's apples and oranges. Or apples and oranges. And whenever they actually... To me, actually, the weak part of the film is when they actually try to do the old, tired jump scares or the quick, kind of,
They're there.
I call it like someone jumping in the room, punching me in the groin and leaving. It's like, oh!
It was startling.
Yeah. It was startling, but
It's not scary.
They do that several times.
But again, it's not distracting.
Yeah, it's not distracting. There's a lot of some scary images in here. There's a lot of disturbing images in there. And if that kind of if you want to me, it's a monster movie. It's kind of a monster movie. That's how I saw it, because you saw a lot of great creature effects.
Or it's a cult movie.
Yeah, to me, it's a monster film. And I'm fine with that. I prefer monster films over, the jump scares and all that.
Yeah, but thinking back at the movie with all the rules of it, the seal of Metatron, the Leonard, and the rules of Pyramid Head and things like that. Just looking back, looking at the outsiders, they're not gonna get this movie at all. This is a great movie, but successful-wise, this might be a fail.
Well, I don't think it's going to be a fail. I think it's going to do.
It's going to do well.
It's going to do well, but
it's not going to be. It's not going to be a box office smash hit.
No, it's not. No,
it's not going to be a Dark Knight Rises or.
Oh no.
Or a Spy or anything else.
The first movie really wasn't that either. But I think I think it's going to make some coin. It's just not going to be the huge runaway hit that it's supposed to be. But like I said, if you can't be good, at least be truthful.
And it did that very well.
Right.
I was really happy with this movie. I'd see it again.
Well, I'll get it on DVD when it comes out.
Oh, yeah. Silent Hill fans should definitely be happy. And I know that they're...
one of the better movies based on a video game. Is it great or fantastic? No, but it's definitely one of the best. Thinking about video game-based movies, what good ones have there been?
Mortal Kombat 1.
Okay. Well, first there was Super Mario Brothers, which is
bullshit.
There's Street Fighter, which is good based on how funny it is.
How wrong it is.
I'm only talking about live
guilty
action.
pleasure.
I'm only talking about live action stuff. I'm not talking about the anime stuff.
Guilty pleasure movie is Street Fighter.
Mortal Kombat 1 was good.
Mortal Kombat 1 was really good.
Mortal Kombat 2 was complete ass.
Oh, Mortal Kombat 2. Jesus Christ. No way.
Double Dragon was... let's see, what else? There was
a lot.
Prince of Persia.
It was not memorable, but it was. They followed the rules of the game, but as far as storytelling, they really did change it.
Right.
Sort of, not really.
Right.
Sort of, not really.
Right. Then there's the Resident Evil films. Again, you're
completely unrelated.
You're the genius on those.
I kept an open-minded, because with the Resident Evil movies, you know what you're getting yourself into. So.
Right.
With the Silent Hill movie, I really wanted to give it a chance.
The first Silent Hill film, like I said, it was alright, but like I said, it really wasn't all that good. This one, though, I thought nailed it.
This one did a really great job. As far as video game movies go, this is one of the best ones ever.
Yes.
So,
what other video game movies are you forgetting?
Yeah, I can already think of a lot of Silent Hill fans.
Definitely the worst.
Legend of Chun-Li.
Well, that. Legend of Chun-Li. I will ask me, what's the worst film I ever saw in the theater? I say without doubt, Legend of Chun-Li. You know how bad that was? That day, the Jonas Brothers movie came out. I'd rather watch the Jonas Brothers movie than that one. I didn't ask... Oh, I'm not going to get into that, but but Chun-Li was bad. But the worst video game-based movie I ever saw, Blood Rain. I can watch a lot of stupid things. I stopped watching that movie halfway through. And if I can't watch it all the way through, that says something. Again, the Uwe Boll movies, Alone in the Dark, the Blood Rain films, Postal, of course, Uwe Boll is kind of like, Like, he's definitely the Ed Wood of nowadays.
Yeah. And there are going to be probably some purist Silent Hill fans that won't let anything go.
It comes with the territory.
Yeah, so I'm a diehard Silent Hill freak that has followed the series for many years now. I've played all of the games.
I'm getting into it.
I think through my influence he's getting into it. But yeah, even I understand the rules of the series. I know about Alessa, how she's not the bad guy. I know that it's one reality, and how after Team Silent disbanded, the series has basically hit a brick wall and hit it hard. But again, I'm willing to be open-minded to ideas and to the fact that they still have to follow the rules from the first movie. This is reality. They can't just not do that. They can't pretend that the first one didn't happen.
Right.
They can't do that.
They fixed it the best they could, and they made a good film.
They really did. I was
See
really
in 3D. See in 3D. It's good.
Yeah, go ahead and see it in 3D. There's not a noticeable difference, and it's not bad.
I liked it. Go see it. It's a good movie.
Yeah. So.
Anyway, anything else to say?
No, it was a really good movie. Definitely 2 thumbs up. Go see it. This is the Brotherhood of Gaming. Subscribe. Follow us on YouTube, and go watch the website. Yeah, watch the website.
Please do.
Later. We love you guys. If you guys have any movie reviews you want us to do or game reviews you'd like to see us do or playthroughs of that sort, feel free to comment below, send a personal message, or contact us in any way, shape, or form you see fit. We'll definitely get back to you on that. This is Gene. This is Will Morris. We are out of here, and we're going to do something.
Later.